Things exploded in Port Charles on Monday's General Hospital. Jason confronted Drew, calling him poison for tearing Willow apart, and warned he'll never get Michael's kids. Meanwhile, Brooklyn slapped Lulu after a heated fight over Gio, then vowed to destroy Lulu's image as a mother, using Britt Westbourne's past as leverage. At the Metro Court, Carly thanked Brennan with a symbolic gift, while Gio overheard her threatening to stop Drew at any cost. In a risky move, Joss hacked Professor Dalton's phone with help from Vaughn. Back at the PCPD, Anna grilled Brennan, knowing he's hiding the truth about the hit on Sonny. Later, Drew told Martin he's ready for war, and Martin teased a shocking strategy, possibly marrying Willow. Things are spiraling fast in Port Charles. Don't miss what's next. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. After watching these videos, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. General Hospital Monday, June 16th recap. Jason tells Poison Drew he destroyed Willow but won't get Michael's kids. General Hospital recap for Monday, June 16th, reveals that Jason Morgan, Steve Burton, warned Poison Drew Kane, Cameron Matheson, while Marco Rios, Adrian Anchondo, delivered Britt Westbourne, Kelly Thibault, research to Brooklyn Quartermain, Amanda Sutton. Here's how all the drama played out on Monday's exciting GH episode. At the Metro Court pool, Carly Spencer, Laura Wright, thanked Jack Brennan, Chris McKenna, for helping get Michael Corinthos, Rory Gibson, into the German clinic and offered up a personalized wrench as a gift. Meanwhile, Anna Devane, Finola Hughes, forced Dante Falconeri, Dominic Zamprogna, and Harrison Chase, Josh Swickard, into a jail cell until they could sort out their issues. After plenty of bickering, Chase and Dante agreed they could keep their work partnership separate from their personal problems. In the PCPD interrogation room, Anna met with Brennan, who wanted to talk about the second attempt on Sonny Corinthos, Maurice Bernard, life in LA. Since the assassin had WSB ties, Brennan knew Sonny was on the bad side of someone with powerful connections. Brennan was worried about a third attempt and didn't want anyone else caught in the crossfire, so Anna realized he was concerned for Carly. Anna also brought up the research she asked for on Professor Henry, Hank Dalton, Daniel Goddard, so Brennan assured her that the guy was clean. Once Brennan exited, Anna muttered about him being a liar. Back at the pool, Emma Scorpio Drake, Braden Bruner, flirted with Professor Dalton again and got reassurance that it was no imposition if she wanted to come talk shop in his office. Giovanni Mazza, wasn't thrilled over Emma throwing herself at Dalton, but he privately offered to help with her plan to stop any animal testing. In Professor Dalton's office, Jocelyn Jacks, Eden McCoy, found nothing on Dalton's work phone and assured Bryce Durfee, that she could get into his personal one for whatever was hidden on there. When Dalton returned later, he put his personal phone down on the desk. Jocelyn managed to cover it up, so that Dalton forgot it when he left. That gave Jocelyn a chance to download all the info on the device. There was a close call when Dalton returned, but Jocelyn managed to avoid raising red flags. Back with Anna, she made a phone call and seemingly arranged for a boot to be placed on Brennan's car. When Brennan showed up at the police station, she happily volunteered to help him sort it out. In Brennan's office again, Emma arrived to find fake janitor Vaughn with Jocelyn. Vaughn pulled Jocelyn into a passionate kiss as a way to explain their private time together. At Maxie Jones, Kirsten Storm's place, Lulu Spencer, Alexa Havens-Bruning pushed one button too many, so Brooklyn Quartermain, Amanda Sutton, whacked her in the face and vowed payback. After Brooklyn left, Maxie acknowledged that Brooklyn shouldn't have gotten physical with Lulu, but she still thought Lulu needed to own what she'd done to Gio. At the Quartermain mansion, Tracy Quartermain, Jane Elliott, met with Martin Gray, Michael E. Knight, and suggested Drew could have the Quartermain name if he refused to testify against her in the drugging case. That wasn't good enough for Martin, so he countered that Tracy should read the statement he'd prepared and welcome Drew back into the family at a press conference. Tracy balked at the idea, but Martin offered a reminder that she could be facing prison. Brooklyn also joined Marco at the Q Mansion, where he offered up the research she'd asked for, though he was confused on why Brooklyn was looking into a deceased woman. Brooklyn explained that Britt had played a major role in Lulu's life and planned to use legal documents to prove Lulu wasn't half the mother she claimed to be. As Brooklyn looked at the file, a picture of Britt was shown. At the hospital, Jason ranted that Drew was poison, and until Willow Tate, Caitlin McMullen, saw that there would be no compromise. Drew warned that Michael wouldn't keep the kids and confirmed that Jason could take that message back to him. Jason fired back that Drew may have destroyed Willow, but he wouldn't destroy the children. Soon after, Jason gave Carly updates on his confrontation with Drew at the pool. That gave Gio a chance to overhear Carly warning that she'd do whatever it took to stop Drew. Lulu also surprised Gio when she showed up and wanted to apologize. Back with Drew, he met with Martin and insisted he now saw that it would have been a mistake to abandon Willow. Instead, Drew was ready to help Willow fight back with everything in Martin's arsenal. Martin hinted about a risky, drastic strategy that he'd never go through with, at least not again. The potential for catastrophe was unlimited according to Martin, who was presumably talking about Drew marrying Willow. General Hospital spoilers say Drew will indeed make a marriage pitch to Willow later this week, so stay tuned for her reaction to that shocking news. After slapping Lulu, Brooklyn believes, spoiler, is the key to taking her nemesis down. Today on General Hospital, Martin offers Tracy a deal, Drew declares war on Michael, and Joss and Vaughn are caught in Dalton's office. Jack meets Carly at the Metro Court pool. She wants to thank him for helping get Michael into the clinic in Germany. Because of him, Michael is healthy, he's back, and he has his children. She will always be grateful to him. She then surprises him with a giant, engraved wrench to commemorate their first unofficial date. Emma and Joss target Dalton. Emma arrives and speaks with Gio as she watches Dalton exit the pool. She approaches her professor, and they chat. Dalton invites her to stop by his office anytime, saying he really admired her dedication in his class. After Dalton leaves, Gio asks Emma what she's doing. Emma tells Gio about her suspicions about Dalton, and she wants to shut down his animal testing. She admits to flirting with Dalton, who wouldn't be the first sleazy professor to be turned on by a student. Gio doesn't like it, but he offers to help her in any way he can. He says she had his back on the worst night of his life, so he'll always have her back. She thanks him and takes off. In Dalton's office, Vaughn, posing as a janitor, checks in with Joss. Joss has found nothing on Dalton's computer and server, so it must be on his phone. Joss insists she'll get the phone. Martin and Tracy try to make a deal. Martin stops by the mansion to meet Tracy. He thinks she's ready to hire him to deal with Drew. She isn't paying him anything and simply wants him to give Drew a message. She says she'll give Drew the Quartermain name back if he agrees not to testify against her regarding this ketamine business. Martin tells her no deal. He wants her to arrange a press conference during which she warmly welcomes Drew back into the family, and he has even drawn up her statement. Tracy reads the statement he wrote up and laughs at it. She won't humiliate herself by reading this, but he says she should take time to think over his offer. He has no issue seeing her in prison, saying the cops alone have enough evidence to bust her. Drew declares war. In Drew's office, Jason lashes out at him for tearing Michael's family apart and calls him poison to those kids. Jason says there will be no compromise until Willow sees that he's poison. Drew accuses Jason and everyone else of punishing Willow for not falling in line with how they wanted her to act, and Michael might have stolen those kids in court, but he won't keep them. He tells Jason that's the message he can take back to Michael. Jason says he may have destroyed Willow, but he won't get Michael's children, and he won't destroy them. Jason then storms out. Anna plays hardball. At the PCPD, Anna orders Chase and Dante to follow her, and they head to the holding cells. She orders them into a cell and says they aren't going anywhere until they figure things out. She tells a cop on duty that if they start fighting, to turn the hose on them. Chase tells Dante that he hated the position he was put in, but he will always have Brooklyn's back. Dante says, "And stab me in mine?" Chase explains that Brooklyn didn't want him to know about their child, as he'd look for their son and disrupt his life. Dante says he can forgive teenage Brooklyn for not telling him, but not the adult who hid the truth from him. Chase defends Brooklyn, who was a teenager and had to make a difficult decision to give her son up so he could have a good life. Dante says Brooklyn chose what was right for herself, not for him or his son. Dante fumes over his relationship with Gio, or lack of one. Chase says that's on him for how he reacted to Rocco's alcohol poisoning. Dante tells Chase he has no idea what it's like to be told your son is in the hospital, as he's not a father. Dante immediately regrets saying that. Chase says he's lashing out a lot lately, and if he keeps isolating himself from everyone, Gio won't reach out when he comes around. Dante realizes he did come down on Gio too hard, and he hopes he didn't blow the only chance to get to know his son. Back at the station, Anna calls an officer who is watching a person of interest. She tells him to file a code and lists off a string of numbers. Suddenly, Jack appears and says they need to talk. They head into the interrogation room, and Jack has information on the second assassin who tried to take out Sunny in LA. She was well known to the WSB, so 2 contracts have now been put out on Sunny. He says Sunny has run afoul of someone with very powerful and dangerous connections. Anna asks why he's suddenly willing to share this information with her now. Jack says there likely will be another attempt on Sunny, and he assumes she doesn't want to see anyone else hurt in the process, like Michael was. She realizes this is about Carly. Anna thanks him and asks Jack if he looked into Professor Dalton for her. He says he did, and the guy is clean. Jack leaves, and Anna knows he just lied to her. Joss makes her move. Dalton returns to his office and drops his phone on the desk. Joss covers it with an envelope as Dalton checks in with Joss and says he's going to head to the lab. Joss asks if she can see the lab. He tells her she will see it eventually, and there is no need to rush that part. Dalton leaves, and Vaughn radios Joss that she's clear. Joss then hacks Dalton's phone. Dalton quickly returns, tells her something has come up, and asks if she's seen his phone. Dalton finds it under some files, and he asks Joss to clean up his desk, so this doesn't happen again. He then races off. Martin has an idea. Martin arrives to see Drew, who tells the lawyer about his talk to Jason. It made Drew realize that leaving Willow would be a mistake. He's going to help her fight back and win. Drew declares war and vows to get those kids back by using every weapon in Martin's arsenal. Jason heads to the Metro court pool to see Carly, and they discuss the Drew and Willow situation. Carly thinks it's over, but Jason says it's not, and Drew is never going to give up on getting those kids. Lulu crosses several lines. At Maxie's, Lulu tells Brooklyn she doesn't owe her anything, much less an apology. Maxie realizes this was a mistake. Brooklyn rants that nothing is ever Lulu's fault, even when she's wrecking other people's lives on purpose. Lulu counters that the only thing destroying people's lives is her lies. Lulu yells that Dante and Gio deserve to know the truth. Brooklyn argues back that since she woke up from her catnap, she's been finding ways to tear her down. Lulu says there was no master plan to punish her, and Dante and Rocco deserve the chance to get to know Gio. She says the only mistake she made was not going to Dante with the truth sooner. Brooklyn cries that it wasn't her call to make. Lulu accuses Brooklyn of choosing to lie again and again to everyone around her, so she won't lose sleep over exposing her lies. Brooklyn cries how it tore her up to give up her baby, and she only wanted him to have a better life. Lulu gets that, and she would do anything for her children, but she doesn't lie to them. She tells Brooklyn that she and her mother's lies destroyed Joe's life, so it's no wonder he wants nothing to do with her. Brooklyn slaps Lulu, surprising even Maxie, and leaving Lulu furious. Maxie jumps in between them and says they took this too far. Maxie tells Brooklyn to go home. She says gladly, but Lulu warns that she will pay for coming after her son. Brooklyn leaves, and Lulu screams about being slapped and how she would have taken BLQ down if not for Maxie. Maxie tells her friend that Brooklyn shouldn't have slapped her, but she took it too far. She hurt Brooklyn's child and has to own that. Brooklyn does some research. Brooklyn heads home and meets with Marco, who is waiting at the mansion for her. She asks if he did the research she asked for. He did, and has a file for her, but wonders why she's interested in a dead woman. In the show's final moments, at the station, Anna gets a call and is told her person of interest is here. She thanks them and says she'll handle them. She heads out and sees Professor Dalton, who somehow got his car booted. She offers to help him with the situation. In Dalton's office, Vaughn checks in with Joss, who got everything copied off Dalton's phone in time. Suddenly, Emma appears and Vaughn grabs and kisses Joss. In Drew's office, Martin tells Drew there is one way to fight back, though it's risky and its potential for damage is unlimited. Martin notes would never do it again if it were up to him. At the pool, Carly tells Jason that Drew will never get near her grandchildren again. She will do whatever it takes to stop him. Nearby, Gio hears. Just then, Lulu arrives and tells Gio that she owes him a big apology. In their cell, Dante and Chase agree to put personal stuff aside and work together going forward. At home, Brooklyn tells Marco that this woman played a big part in Lulu's life and impacted Lulu's family, and she is the key to proving Lulu isn't half the mother she claims to be. She opens the file, and there's a photo of Britt inside. On the next General Hospital, Drew warns Portia and Nina that they forget who is in charge. Curtis tells Michael that Drew is blackmailing his wife. Brooklyn tells Marco that Lulu deserves a taste of her own medicine. Gio lets Lulu know that nothing she says will change his mind. In Dalton's office, Vaughn hopes Emma won't rat him and Joss out. Dante tells his father that he's worried about him. Holding her baby in the hospital, Sasha asks Carly, "What have you done with her?" Thanks for watching this videos. Please hit the subscribe button for more updated news.